All right. Welcome to Biohacking Beauty podcast. My name is Amitai Eshel,
I'm Anastasia Khadjaeva.
and we are, of course, the founders of Young Goose Skincare, the world's first longevity biohacking skincare. And today we have a very, very special guest,
Thank you.
Olga, also known as...
The Natural Face Bible.
Yeah, so Olga, first of all, it's great to meet you in person.
Same,
And-
absolutely same. Yes, like I said, I watched you guys so many times on the podcast and listened so many of your podcasts. So fun to be here.
Yeah, and I've been following Olga for a really long time.
Oh, I didn't know that, but thank you.
Yeah, and then maybe what was it, 6 months ago, you messaged because you overheard in one of the podcasts that I was talking about Japanese face tape, and you were so generous. You're like, let me send you my tape. And I'm like, sure, I already use it anyway, but I'll take it. And I was really happy to hear that you've been using our products also for some time.
Yes.
So it just all came full circle. And sometimes you really don't know. You could be supporting a brand or getting inspired by a company. And then, we're all kind of supporting each other, using each other products. And it's just I
think when the products are top of the line, right? That's what happens. It kind of attracts, the same people who are looking for the best products. I think it's just natural.
Yeah. Well, so since I've been mentioning face taping, we've been getting so many questions. And also, I don't know if it's just my algorithm, but I think it's really universal. Face taping is so hot right now. Everyone is really obsessed with it. I see a lot of people face taping. And so I think there's going to be a very valuable episode because we get to learn from the best. Because from what I know, you kind of brought Japanese face taping to North America. Is that correct?
Well, yes. So basically what happened is, you're saying that the face taping is so hot right now and your algorithm is full of the videos. I want to say immediately that guarantee that maybe at least 50% or more of those videos are not even face taping.
Yeah.
It's probably some sort of a face stickering.
Yeah.
I don't even know what people are doing now, but it's going bananas. And what happened is I was using this Japanese tape for about 10 years.
Wow.
This is when I was turning 40. And most of my friends who were also turning 40 or about that age, of course, we started all seeing wrinkles and the signs of aging that we didn't love, we didn't like it, we wanted to do something about it. And the majority of my friends started going the typical round of injections. I didn't want to do that for whatever many reasons, but I didn't want to do that. But at the same time, I was like, oh my God, I'm I have forehead wrinkles. I can see the wrinkles in my photos. I don't like it. What do I do? There's gotta be something. So I literally started looking for alternatives. And at first I landed on facial massages and face taping as well. I didn't know what the hell is that. Didn't know anything about it, but was so invested immediately in it because it kind of made sense. And I spent at least a year at first initially studying. So I went abroad, I went to Europe, I went to Russia. I was doing attending a whole bunch of different schools and learning different methods and so on.
Were you studying facial massage or facial taping or both?
Both. Yes, it's just different variations of massages, including the buccal massage, the one you go inside the mouth, and myofascial and some osteopathic techniques, a lot of things. And of course, started using the tapes and loved it immediately, got obsessed with it immediately, made so much sense. And also already I started seeing some improvements, differences, and that's it. And that's just going and going for years. And then fast forward to 2020 when we got on the lockdown. And my kids got me hooked on TikTok because we were all at home. We lost our jobs, basically. We were sitting at home doing nothing. And I posted just posted the video of me doing some face taping, and it blew up. But it wasn't like, this is the trick. It wasn't welcomed as it is now. It was taken by such a negative
People were ridiculing it, right?
Oh my God, it was insane. The dermatologists, the plastic surgeons, the injectors, the regular people were calling me crazy, this and that. There was like a lot of, actually, I went through quite a few sleepless nights with the tears, all over, like, oh my God, what's going on? This is like, I'm like literally showing the best thing that I thought. But the thing is that I did not realize that people didn't know what it was. To me, I thought people knew what face taping is, because back from my studies and everything, everyone around that field knew what face taping is, right? And I thought, okay, everyone knows it, but no, it was not popular here in the US at all, like at all. And yes, those, my first TikTok videos really kind of put the start to it. It kind of like paved the way now to a whole bunch of other people who are showing it, brands who are selling many different tapes, not specifically face tapes, but whatever. So that's how it kind of started. And then I realized, oh my God, people don't know what it is, and they want to know what it is. And I just kept going, sharing different things, and So, but another thing, like, see, I thought we are going to be talking more about the face taping. Maybe we're going to be talking about face sweating, because I'm getting a hot flash now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. And this is one thing that I wish the face taping or Young Goose products or anything were able to help, because I'm dealing with this now for, I don't know, 6 months, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So this is what's happening.
Well,
So,
I don't think people can tell on video too much, and then most of our people are listening. But I can.
oh, that's okay. Even if they can tell, I mean, this is actually also another thing to show. This is what we are women are going through.
Yeah.
We are dealing with, Botox or face tapes or hot flashes or you
For
name
sure.
it, and then that's it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have, you've kind of answered the first question that I had, which was how are you experiencing the rise in popularity? Because it's very different when you're in the eye of the storm, right?
I'm devastated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm devastated. But imagine if this is, first of all, it's like my baby.
Yeah.
Imagine your spermidine infused skincare, right? All of a sudden, which is great, right? It would get huge popularity, right? And everybody wants to use it, and everybody wants to know what it is and understand what it is. But at the same time, with everything good comes a lot of negative aspects.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, brands and people, who have not had any education in the method, in the product, but they want to make some money. They want to jump. They want to be part of the trend. They want to get the views for the videos. They, of course, want to get their hands on this modality, but without any background, without any education, without even basic knowledge. And they basically, butcher it.
Yeah.
So imagine if this permanent skincare, became available everywhere at the Walmart and Target. That would not be a top-notch product. That would be some probably synthetic crap or poorly formulated product. And but everybody would know about it and say, "Oh, I use spermidine in my skincare." No, you don't. You use some kind of a. What is this?
Yeah.
What are you using? You're not using the real stuff.
Yeah.
And
I see. First of all, it's true, and it obviously when you give me or us an example about something that we hold near and dear, it makes perfect sense. Before that, I think maybe in order for it to make more sense, maybe you should explain to us and people who are listening who maybe are really they don't they don't understand the nuance. Like, what is face taping?
Yeah.
Well,
and
first of all, the face taping is it's the method where we apply specific tapes on the face in a specific manner that help our tissues to function better, and in turn, of course, help control, improve, reduce, prevent some of the aging signs of aging we see, including wrinkles. And this is great for people who, let's say, don't want to do Botox. People maybe who cannot afford Botox. Maybe people are pregnant or breastfeeding. Again, they cannot do Botox. And they can try this very affordable, very quite simple modality to learn and use on themselves at home and see great results.
Yeah, and so from what I understand about face taping, and then I guess also the kind of the notion that most people get face taping. First and foremost, it really helps with dynamic wrinkles because it kind of, relaxes the tissue, right? It doesn't freeze the muscles the way the Botox does, but it relaxes. And then if you sleep overnight, your muscles weren't contracting in that manner that makes those wrinkles, deeper and creates wrinkles. But then what about the length of the results? Because what I think deters a lot of people from using face tape is that, actually, if you look into scientific literature, like there are studies from
Yes.
PubMed and others, and their conclusion really is that the results are very short-lived. However, I'm looking at your skin, and it doesn't seem this way. Like,
So they applied it for half an hour. The results that they show, like it's an hour worth of result. Like, they applied it for half an hour. So.
Yeah, so I think let me formulate my question a little bit more concise. So you kind of gave the background about what this is. Now, for a person that is right now not doing face taping and they start introducing face taping, what is it that they will see at first, and what results can they hope for with consistency?
So it's of course also very individual. For example, if you if two people are starting to go to the gym to work out, right? One person might see the results faster than the other. It really depends on many factors, including your tissue's ability to respond to the product. Same would be with the skincare, and you guys all know it, right?
Yeah.
For some people, there's less of a damage accumulated in the tissues, so the response will be faster. For other people, it's going to be, deeper seated and etc. Different things that happen inside, and same with the face taping. So everyone can go onto my Instagram, and I have a highlight title before and after. And it's fascinating to see because there are women who have allowed me to share their results. And many of them are not some 25-year-old women or 35. They're older, mature women, some of them with deeper wrinkles. And some people give me the timeline. Some people say, oh my God, I just used it for a week and I already see results. Other people are like, oh my God, I'm using it for a month. I'm not seeing much. What else can I do? What am I doing wrong? And again, it goes to your tissue's ability to respond, the level of how deep is the seated damage that accumulated, right? Where's the tension coming from? Remember, the tapes can only address the top surface of the tissues. It cannot go into the deeper levels. It cannot go into the correlated areas that could be contributing to your wrinkle. And people don't know this stuff, but for example, the frown wrinkles, right? Right here, this is all based on anatomy and the physiology and how our body functions. But this area, we have a bunch of muscles connecting. We have the facial, the cranial bones that connect in this area. This area is tightly intertwined with the occipital, which is the back of the head, the back of the neck. So the tension from those areas can be making your frown wrinkles worse. And if you're just applying some magical skincare that says you can reduce some wrinkles, but you're not, or the tape, right? But you're not addressing the true cause of it, which could be coming from tension of the neck, then yes, those people will see less of a results, or and it will take a longer time. Then again, like I say, when we go to the gym, right, this is what people don't realize. If you stop going to the gym, what's going to happen to your body? You're going to pretty soon start losing the results that you worked for. Same thing with the face taping or facial massages or any natural modalities. Botox, by the way, the same way. In 3 months or something, you have to go back and do it again. So same thing here. It doesn't last forever. It has to be part of your lifestyle, part of your skincare. So you take another extra a minute and a half after your skincare to apply the tape. And that's how it is.
Yeah. And I think here, while you were answering, you kind of like led to my second question that I wanted to ask. And it's really about the facial massages. So for you, it's really 50-50, right? Or how would you say that, for people that take on facial tape, as you were saying, you have to figure out your root cause. And I think in today's world, we are all on our phones or computers. Yes. So there gotta be like muscle tension, everywhere, shoulders, neck, back of our head, for everyone. So I think everyone could benefit from facial massages, and that's kind of like the way I see facial taping actually is like you have to do both. Like you have to combine it with some facial techniques to release the tension.
For those people who do it both, who combine it with some sort of other modality, whether it's the facial massage, could be gua sha, or some people like to do other things, it will definitely speed up the results, and it will create a longer lasting results. However, I do have many of my followers in my community, my customers, who only do face taping and they still are happy with their results. For those who are not happy, then I tell them, okay, let's introduce something else. Let's start with some of the massages. Let's relieve some of the tension in the neck or in the scalp or in your muscles, and then they get a much better results.
I see. And when we're talking about for the people that only doing facial tape, so the results are coming from relaxing the muscles and bringing blood circulation? Or what?
This is, I think the best way to describe it would be for all of the listeners, if everyone can visualize a lasagna. Just close your eyes and visualize the lasagna. And in lasagna, we have several sheets of the pasta, right? So those several sheets of the pasta would represent the different sheets of our tissues, layers. Skin, fascia, right? Let's say muscles, and then so forth. And in between those lasagna sheets, the pasta sheets, we have interstitial space. We have blood receptors there, the blood vessels. We have lymph vessels. We have pain receptors. We have nerves, and so on. What happens when we apply the tape? And imagine, so all of this lasagna, right? The pasta sheets with all of the things in between, when you compress it, imagine those little pieces of meat inside, those blood vessels and lymph vessels and everything get compressed. When they get compressed, they can function very well. It's just very hard for the blood to seep through, for the lymph to exit out, and so on. The inflammation accumulates, the pain receptors get compressed, and that's why you feel the pain. And that's actually, by the way, why taping works and why the studies were done specifically on the TMJ issues and why it helps people. So when we apply the tape mimics our skin again, proper tape and proper applications. It mimics our skin. It acts as a magnet, lifting tiny bit the top layer of lasagna sheet. And then all of the layers down there, the top layers, have a chance to decompress. And all of those little blood vessels and everything that we discussed have a chance to decompress again. And once they decompress, we have our tissues are able to receive more blood, to get a better oxygenation, to for the lymph to flow more freely, for the pain receptors to decompress, for our nervous system to reset. And that's why so many people get relief. I mean, me myself, of course, get relief from taping, let's say on the tension, for the tension of the neck. They apply the tape and oh my God, all of a sudden the tension kind of goes away. The studies were done for the TMJ issues. When people use the tape, they had improved functioning, including the mouth range opening, the less inflammation, of course, less swelling that is often associated with the compression of the TM joint, and so on. So it really is not a beauty tool, but it really is a medicinal tool in a way.
Yeah.
That allows our tissues to function better. And like you guys know better than anyone, right? That what would be the probably number one thing for our skin to age slower?
Blood supply.
Exactly.
I mean, there are many, but yeah, this is definitely one of them.
But definitely, that would be probably, right?
I'd say, lack of blood would definitely be the thing that
I know
drives...
it starves from the skin
if
from
we
nutrients.
have a chance with such a simple method, go to sleep, and overnight, the tape is like our best assistant, is helping our blood to surge better into the tissues, to do the circulation, oxygenation,
Bringing
and so on, right?
inside,
Bringing all of the nutrients, and then, the venous outflow, the lymphatic drainage, and all of that. So this is why it's so amazing. And I don't know if you guys know, but the taping started, the body taping started back in the 70s. There's a Japanese, American-Japanese doctor who invented this kinesio tape to help his patients recover better after athletes. And then in the 80s, it became so popular when Olympic athletes walked on the opening game, on the Olympic Games, covered in different tapes, colored tapes on the body. And people are like, what is that? But that's what it is. But imagine the Olympic athletes, the teams, those teams, they have the best doctors in the world catering to those athletes. And they found something that was helping their athletes perform better. And that's how it is. Then later, just maybe about 15 years ago, that from the body taping was adopted by the beauty practitioners into the face taping.
And it started in Japan as well.
No. It did not start in Japan at all, and it's still not popular in Japan. The face taping started in Europe, like Eastern Europe, Russia, those areas mostly.
But the tape is Japanese.
The tape, so the American-Japanese doctor, he was the one who invented the kinesio tape. The tape that I use, the Japanese tape, this is the difference between all the other tapes because it is manufactured in Japan. It's not manufactured in China. In Japan, they have the strictest, basically, rules and regulations on the product manufacturing. They're like very thorough. And A, it's manufactured in Japan. B, it has a technology, which is a very advanced Japanese technology, making the adhesive and the tape very, very delicate, which is exactly what our delicate facial skin can handle. We cannot use the regular body tapes that
yeah.
those colored ones. And I think I heard a little bit you
Yeah.
were saying on the podcast that's when you started,
Yeah.
you had an experience with that.
Yeah, actually, I did have I was going for buccal massages to a Russian lady, and then she undergone some training in facial tape, but she was very honest that she in a kinesiological tape that she is not that fluent in the technique. So she was doing amazing buccal massage and was helping with my TMJ. But she was like, listen, I really know that if you get the tipping right, it could really give you the permanent TMJ relief. And then she like FaceTimed with her instructor back home, and then she ended up putting the body tape on my face. And what I ended up doing is that I left it for a lot longer than she told me. She told me basically, like the massage, let's say, was like at 4 p.m. She's like, here, use it overnight. And then I slept with it. And I did feel the next day that I, like, while the tape was on, that I am in less pain than usually. So I was like, I'm just going to be walking around with this bright blue tape. We even went shopping, him and I. Amitai and I, and he liked that I have this tape, that I'm such a biohacker and like I don't care. I'm walking around with this bright blue kinesiologic tape. And I was like, I'll do whatever for pain relief. I don't care either. But then it was so painful to remove. Oh my God. It was so painful because it was a body tape and it was left for too long.
Because we need to understand a couple of things. First of all, people don't care. That's number one. I can give all the excuses to companies like Katie Tape or whatever. It doesn't matter, by the way. Not a bad company at all. However, first and foremost, at the end of the day, you're sourcing it from a Chinese manufacturer that the adhesives that they use are the adhesives that they have access to in their pipeline, and they're just the most convenient to use. And the other thing is, when you talk about athletic tapes, and the best case scenario you could imagine is that the need in a free trade world, the need is what dictates the manufacturing. Like that's best case scenario. And that means that for the most part, and I can talk myself as someone who's been using kinesiological tape for over 10 years for sure, is that you need it to, for a certain extent, to withstand sweat.
The body tape, yeah.
And the best companies, in air quotes, within the best adhesive manufacturers in the world, what they would do is they would actually have water activated ingredients, which would actually make the adhesive change its properties to be even more sticky when it's wet. It doesn't work that well if it's soaking wet, but you sweat, your skin gets moist just enough to actually make it stronger, especially in the face where you make a lot of sebum, etc. So you're actually working, that's the perfect storm. As far as that's the most wrong thing is actually use a really good body tape on your face, because you are the perfect candidate for someone to have an over adhesive product.
Yeah, and I do want to bring it back to Olga's tape. So when I first started using it, I was very nervous about my skin, because my skin is very, very delicate. It's very thin, and it's very reactive. Like my skin and I, we have very open communication. So usually, when I try a different product, a skincare product or anything, like my skin can react, and I can get like redness and bumps and itchiness, and it really never happened to me with the tape. Like I didn't go through any adjustment period. So the adhesive that is used in these Japanese tapes, it's like really is, for my skin, it turned out to be great. And then when I put a poll of questions ahead of this episode, I actually got a couple of DMs and like people messaging in the question box that they considered face taping, but the only reason they've never tried is they like, they don't like the idea of adhesive on their skin. Like, it doesn't really align with their like non-toxic natural living. or they're just really afraid that their skin, quote unquote, will freak out, which a few people message that. So can you address that part of like what type of adhesive this is? Because I can attest that it's very gentle, and if my skin didn't react, then it's not bothersome to the skin. It's like really not an issue.
It's the highest grade medical acrylic adhesive blend. And but again, the thing is that because it is made in Japan, and not just made in Japan, there are some other tapes that made in Japan, but they are not made according to this advanced Japanese technology that this tape is made. And that technology, which they're keeping secret, of course, and I know companies who try to, try to imitate it, and they were sending me the tapes to test out, but they still cannot crack it. They cannot crack it, and but that's what that technology is making this adhesive and tape the most delicate for our, of course, delicate and sensitive facial skin. And that's another thing when you guys said that one of the best things for the skin is the blood supply, right? And one of the one of the worst things for our skin would be to damage our skin barrier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? You would agree with that. So, and imagine using some stronger tapes, right? Thicker tapes or stronger adhesives. And as Amitai said exactly correctly, they are strong because they have to, they're body tapes. And they're Chinese tapes. That's what they don't have the technology behind it. They just make whatever they can to sell, and that's it. And those adhesive and those tapes are designed to be so strong to grip it even through men's hairy thighs. You know what I mean?
I know that this is really painting
That's
the
what it
picture
is.
for
So
me.
how can you can you imagine putting that on your face, not only once like you did, but like repeatedly, few times a week.
Oh my God.
Overnight.
No, that will definitely disrupt the skin barrier, which is the foundation of skin health.
It's a recipe for disaster for this. Even if you don't see that damage right away on the skin barrier, that's going to be an issue for the longevity of the health of your skin barrier.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
I want to go back to the kind of the way of which tape is being applied. So what I know from normal kinesiological tape application is that you want to have some tension when you apply it, because you do want some skin kind of wrinkling, crinkling, whatever that is called. And that does part of that lifting of the skin to allow for nutrients to come in, lymphatic flow, etc. Does that also apply to face taping, or less the case?
Yes, but here's the thing, that like you're talking about the body taping, and of course on the body we have a larger muscles, a larger area to cover, and so on. On the face, and that's why when in the beginning I said it's a disaster, that what I see on the social media now, people are just randomly sticking pieces of tape anywhere they see a line, or I don't know what they're doing. But yes, so the tape's supposed to be applied in a special manner, and on the face, we don't just stick the tape, but we do certain facial maneuvers. For example, in some applications, we open our mouth for the muscles to elongate, to pre-extend the area of application. On the other areas, we might pull a little bit with our fingers, and so on. On the neck, we also we kind of stretch the neck, and we apply the tape in that manner. And that will create some of those convulsions that you are talking about.
Yeah.
And
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing instead of you randomly pulling the tape and then sticking it, you don't apply tension on the tape, rather than you're going to the end of kind of range of motion of where that area is. And then when you apply the tape naturally and relax, that creates some of that crinkling.
Exactly. And that's going to create that lifting effect and the decompression and so on. Right. And that's why, that's what I'm seeing. That's what's so bothering me, that the brands who create, they go to buy all these little pieces of tape, and then they give tutorials. What are you doing? Just spend you're not doing anything. I don't know, you might as well go to your kid's room, get some SpongeBob stickers and put them on.
That can be a trend, by the way.
Actually, speaking of that, I do have a question. So As much as, because the more you talk about it, the more I understand that there is a proper way of applying tape can like really interacts with our biology, physiology, and there's a lot of things happening. Would you say that the opposite is true too? Like if a person maybe using the right tape but applies it in a wrong manner, can it actually harm the skin? Because I've seen, for example, speaking of like people online and stuff, I've seen people applying tape while they still have facial expressions. So I don't think that's really good for them. And then, yeah, I've also seen I've seen people basically taking the tape, making triangles out of it. So they take the perpendicular shape, then they cut it and kind of diagonally. So now you have triangles. And then with triangles, they make they place them in different ways. And then they say, oh, this is how you get natural facelift, which watching your tutorials, I've never seen you doing anything like that. So I don't think they really got their science right. So would you say that applying tape incorrectly and incorrect tape, I guess we can chunk it together, could actually harm your skin?
Well, incorrect tape, like we said, applying it's going to definitely likely for many people damage the skin barrier. Again, if you don't see it right away, but it doesn't mean it's not, getting that damage. Applying the tape incorrectly in an incorrect direction or manner, yes. I have also seen people, let's say, applying lymphatic drainage applications in the wrong direction, which we want to open up those lymphatic drainage channels, right, for the fluids to exit out, to drain out. But then when we are redirecting in a way the passageway, it's like, what are you doing? Absolutely. The knowledge of anatomy, the physiology, the basic functions is crucial for the tape to be applied correctly. Again, you don't need to be learning all of that. For example, I have a guide where I show all this, and you can basically just repeat and follow what I do, and you'll get it correctly. Also, a lot of people can overstimulate tissues. I see people applying a huge tape on the forehead, like a big piece covering the entire forehead. And even brands also now make those one piece that goes across the entire forehead.
I've seen those from silicone. I've never seen those from
Oh,
tape.
yeah. A lot now. So that can absolutely overstimulate tissues. That can actually cause headaches. And yes, so there are a lot of nuances that should be followed. But again, just like, let's go again back to the gym, right? You can be doing great exercises, but doing them completely incorrectly, and that's gonna traumatize your body.
That can actually
That's
harm.
exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned gua sha.
Yes.
You mentioned facial taping.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you would, that you have seen that would, other modalities that would be stackable with face taping? And maybe what are some modalities that you have seen to be, negative if stacked together, would be a detrimental to the results?
Well, the ones that definitely go well together are any facial manipulation, gentle ones, the massages. People like to do gua sha. Gua sha is great for, again, like bringing the blood flow to the surface of the skin. Taping would go great with that. The bad ones, what are the bad ones? Do you know that? What are the bad ones?
I can think.
Not the bad ones, but what are the other popular ones you see out there?
Here's what I would hypothesize, because I don't know. Maybe things that anyway are not great for skin barrier, or that are, causing some kind of imbalance in skin barrier, would be, maybe you should separate them. I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe things like peels, maybe scrubs.
Acids.
Oh, yes. I see what you're going. Yeah.
Microneedling, home microneedling, maybe things that are...
Yes. I see where you're going. Yes.
Maybe
So-
that's, by the way, that's just what I'm thinking now.
Yeah, of course, you never, ever, ever want to apply tape on any injured skin or any skin that has been recently compromised from the peels, like you mentioned, right? Or any other more of aggressive treatments. We want the skin to be in a healthy, in a good state. We do not apply tape over any active acne, let's say, or any flaring rosacea or anything like that. The was I gonna say something about those treatments can be great for. I mean, you guys talk a lot about those treatments, especially to treat some sort of issue. And the face tape, it's not gonna treat your scars so much. It will give a little more pliability. It will give softness to the scar tissue, which can be applied on the scars, and it is practiced a lot. A lot of women, let's say after a C-section, would it's advisable to use tapes on that scar tissue. But it's not gonna be like a major game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I see.
Yeah.
And I think that that really ties it in, you know, because as the facial taping, like for me personally, it's only a part of my regimen. It's not going to be like all encompassing. You still need your all other things. You know, we talked about facial massage. We talked about applying quality skincare, all of the other things that you do for your wellness and for your skin health. You know, it's just a part of the puzzle, the way I look at it. And we got a lot of questions of like whether face tape can replace Botox, but you kind of touched on it in the beginning that it's a good alternative to it.
I mean, it's not 100% the same thing, right? Nothing is. Like, we can't compare apples to cabbage and so on and so forth. But again, it's like I said, I think my community, myself, I've never had Botox, and I can imagine the deep lines I would have had now if I hadn't been, you know, face taping. And same with the people in my community. It is a great option for those who do not want to go to the Botox round or cannot go to the Botox round.
But I even feel like for listeners that are doing some Botox, there is also like a trend of baby Botox right now where they put less units. And we don't have to get into like whether, you know, how much of less impact that is. Like at this podcast, we've said it many times, like a lot of our listeners don't do Botox, but a lot of them also do. And it's like, it's your personal choice. But I feel like even if somebody that's doing Botox right now, they could still very well benefit with facial tape. Like it's not mutually exclusive, because there are some things that if you do Botox, it's less advisable, you know, like especially like when you just did the Botox, for example, and then you do the facial stimulation, you can actually push the Botox to your lymph nodes, or, you know, have like Botox poisoning. But with the tape, it really has no, you know, issues. It doesn't interact with the Botox, right?
Yes. Well, I always advise not to use taping up to 2-3 weeks after the injections.
Oh, that's very important for people that are listening.
I wouldn't do it.
It's
again, we are.
Because you think that stimulates the lymph
Exactly,
nodes that much that
exactly.
you... Okay, got it.
But at the same time, I have a lot of people in my community who do Botox, but at the same time, after a couple of weeks, they start doing the face taping, and that prolongs their Botox.
That's what I imagine is happening. Yeah, so you can do it less frequently.
I do have a question around skin sensitivity. So what I noticed myself, I don't face tape, but I do tape
You don't need to.
but I tape my nose to expand my
And you tape your mouth.
Airspace.
And I tape my mouth. But I want to say about my nose, if people know that I have a journey with melasma, and I know that if I forget to apply sunscreen after I took off the nose tape, and I go to the sun, and it happened already a few times. Actually, it happened now. I would get a dark strip on my nose. I mean, you could kind of see it a little bit. Thankfully, with the vampire facial, with the vampire exosomes, it kind of
Fading down.
fading down. It's crazy. But yeah, but is it something that would be kind of a like a sacred pairing as well when we talk about facial taping? It's like, hey, if you facial tape, you took off, the tape, you created some stimulation there. You better apply like sunscreen there.
But what are you using on your nose?
Shitty tape from.
Why are you using shitty tape? You told our like.
No, I don't use shitty tape. I use a tape that is for the nose, because Anastasia, I bought another one. Anastasia threw it. That's another point.
Okay.
But
The truth is that you're using, you've tried many different nose strips. You're using a nose strip that really works for you, because not every nose strip that you tried worked for you in terms of opening the nasal pathways.
Passages.
And
first of all, let's admit I bought a 2-year supply of that nose strip.
and I didn't throw it.
No. And then I bought another one, which is better, and it doesn't sit on the nose. It doesn't actually have like an adhesive on the nose. It just has a little bit of an adhesive on the side.
On the side.
And that
And then
we
it
can't
disappeared.
find.
It disappeared, but I am not
I'm
to blame here.
But I'm now forced to use the other one, because we do have about 7 pounds of it at home.
You're not forced for
Yeah, I'm
anything.
kidding. But anyway,
Maybe you're
just as a
compromising
personal
this?
experience, I'm saying there is some just irritation from removing it, just removing something and pulling the skin.
I'll give you a tip.
Yeah,
Don't pull it from your skin. Wet it.
that's a great idea.
Just wet
I'll
it.
tell you,
And it's supposed to practically fall off.
Okay, deal. I mean, there is one problem, which is Lev, our son. He treats it as a
Game in the morning.
as a sport to pull it off my
Change
nose.
it into a different. It's gonna be even funner game. Let's go wet it first.
I'm gonna try. He does love water,
Yeah.
so we're gonna try that.
I think there is a shot.
So are you saying that, but do we want to make sure that we apply, I mean, obviously, like, okay, yeah, you should apply sunscreen anyway, blah, blah, blah. But is it something that is even more important if you've face taped, or you're saying, no, it shouldn't be irritating the skin in any way?
If you are getting some skin barrier compromisation, is that the word?
yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
If you're getting some skin barrier compromisation from taping, then of course you apply the sunscreen.
Yeah.
But never happened to me personally. Never had anyone talk to me about
Like any photosensitivity.
exactly.
Got it.
Never had that brought on to me personally. You're saying it right now, and but again, you're using a different tape.
Yeah.
Your maybe son is also kind of removing it a little bit,
Yeah.
yanking it out.
I would say I saw, there is a famous girl, she's not that famous, but I mean, like
She has
someone-
a following.
She has a following, and she was doing mainly like acupressure points for the face for a long time. But I mean, I think she was doing them pretty aggressively, and she also lives like maybe in like Costa Rica or like Thailand, like somewhere where you.
The one that has a filter that has body parts and muscles. No, not this one. Okay, never mind.
Maybe that's not what I remember. What I remember, she developed like horrible melasma because I think she was doing a lot of scraping with like, gua sha or something like that, and just living it out in some, I don't know, Caribbean place.
Oh no, but then we also know that melasma can be from a hormonal imbalances.
yeah.
So it's hard to pinpoint whether it's from her scraping the face. I don't know what she was scraping it with, but who knows?
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
Yeah.
I think it's a good PSA anyway to use sunscreen. So
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. We should do it anyway. But my question. Okay, I got it.
Okay. We're getting close to an hour. So we actually went through a lot of good questions, but I wanted to go through just a few questions that we got from the
Yeah.
poll on Instagram, from the question box. Now that I'm looking at them, I think we answered most of them. Well, there is one that we didn't kind of touch on. The person is saying, every time I use her tape, let's say the tape, it leaves red marks around the eye area. Is there any way to prevent this?
Well, I would love to see how she's using it on around the eye area.
Yeah.
My recommendation always, I say it, and then again, see people doing this stuff. There are two forbidden areas on the face. It's the delicate eyelids. We do not apply tape on the delicate eyelids. We also do not apply tape on our front of the
Neck.
throat, the front of the neck, and leaving the red marks. Again, I would love to see what application she's using. There are possibilities, and I also say to people all the time, the meat face applications, I personally do not recommend overnight if you're a stomach or side sleeper, because, well,
Yeah.
you can imagine, right? You're sleeping like this, you're squishing against the pillow, all of your tissues, the tape, that can absolutely create the marks along the ridges of the tape because of the sleeping position.
Yeah.
And then I always say to people, try it during the day.
Yeah.
For a couple of hours, try it during the day, and you're going to eliminate if it's a sleeping position causing it.
I have so that I think that really answers the question. I will say that for me, sometimes when I apply tape on my forehead, not every morning, once in a while, when I remove the tape, there is a little bit of redness, but it goes away very fast. And I always kind of attribute it to the fact that, hey, maybe the night before I ate something more salty. I just had a little bit of more water retention, but I never thought it's anything bad because I've never seen it result in anything bad, and I've seen it resolve naturally very quickly. So I didn't think that it's anything to worry about.
Yeah, but also you always want to remove the tape properly, right? You're not yanking it off, you're not pulling it.
Yeah.
You are, if you have even more sensitive skin, wet it.
Yeah.
Get some water on it. It literally is going to fall off on its own. You don't need to pull or anything, traumatize the skin. Number two, very important thing, you remove it in the direction of your hair growth. 'Cause we're not waxing here, okay? Right? So
Yeah.
we want to, again, in the direction of your hair growth. When you're doing lymphatic drainage applications, those are, you will see like in my videos, those like the octopus, right? Like with the
Yeah.
long, right? Those are like so amazing to boost the lymphatic drainage. You remove those in the direction of fluid flow. And another thing, the removal, you're supposed to hold your tissues with the opposite hand and slowly remove the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, what I was talking about, it was like even before I removed the tape, I just would
Oh,
wake
like a
up
little-
and there's like redness in between.
Oh,
like
in
the
between.
the skin between the tape is a little bit red, but again, I didn't think much of it because
Yeah,
there was
no.
it would just like the minute I removed the tape, I don't know, a minute goes by, I
I'll
just wash
attribute
Yeah,
my
it
it
to
just
more
face.
blood
dissipates
flow.
by itself.
Yeah, that's what I thought to myself, that it's more
but-
blood flow.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, also-
not anything to worry about.
Yeah, it could be a blood flow. It could be like sometimes also when I say the mid-face applications to avoid overnight if you are side stomach sleeper, it's because like the fluids can pull in that area to create the soft tissues get even softer. The tape sort of like sinks in a way, and that creates a little bit of a ridges.
Yeah, got it.
So,
Go ahead.
here, so obviously, as you said, it's what I love to hear also is that it's pretty easy to no pun intended, to apply the techniques. Like you don't have to be an expert. You don't need to understand the biology of or the lymphatic flow chart.
Right.
There is like a pretty easy, cookie cutter approach to
Exactly.
getting good results. This is great. I mean,
Exactly. But again, you want to get
Yeah.
get those applications from a trusted source,
100%.
the one who actually had all of that education that you don't want to go through or didn't want or don't have the type of energy, finances, etc.
Yeah.
Right? Not from just random people who jump on this trend and
yes,
so on.
exactly. The problem is that, most people are the most confident when they have a little bit amount of information. Then
Oh, yeah, that is so true. My God.
then it obviously, the more information then after that you understand nuance and you're not as confident. You understand.
You are so right in that. Yes.
So I would assume most of I mean, obviously I can always equate it to jujitsu, which is what I like. But most of the time, the most unrealistic or the most techniques that don't apply to real life are done by people who have beginner experience. They have enough to make it look good or make it make sense in their head. But again, it's a lot of wishful thinking and a lot of creative minds out there.
Yeah.
So I can understand how someone would take a course, would get all their eyes will be able to pass over a vast amount of information. They will retain some of it. But then they feel extremely confident and say, hey, if this works that way, in my mind, I can create triangles and
Yeah.
I don't know, other
And the
octagons and
Yeah.
And the truth is, like, the first time I started seeing face taping videos, like this video with the triangles and with the face tape, I saved it for myself in my folder. I was like, okay, well, one day if I want to look more sculpted, I'll try this application. And it's like not until later when I saw your tutorials, some other tutorials that I trust more. I've also taken, actually, last year, I took a course on like facial massages, like a very extensive course, and got certified and everything.
Oh,
But
wow,
I just
that's
had
amazing.
I just had a little bit of more time because I was early postpartum, and I actually was so I was so swollen postpartum, and I was in every video or picture taken of me, I saw 3, not 1, not 2, 3 chins. Like, I just felt very self-conscious. So I was like, okay, I got to figure out how to drain all that extra fluid, which, of course, is the sleepless nights and the whole storm of hormones post-birth. But it,
for the record, she looked beautiful. I don't know what she's talking about.
I don't know exactly.
Thank you.
I don't know what she's talking about. But then you can also say that, did you feel like it was the facial massages and the face taping were helping you?
Yes, no, absolutely. No, I can definitely say that. And I mean, every time I mention face taping on this Instagram, on our podcast, because I do mention it a lot, because it is something that I really believe is helping me not to use Botox. Like, I'm not using Botox and I'm very happy with the way my skin looks. And people always say, like, oh, I would love to see the way you apply. I don't feel confident to show tutorials online. Like, because I do my best, but I'm no expert. So I just funnel them to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But again, there is a difference between just showing like, hey, this is what I do, right? And the difference between pretending to be like a full-on blown expert
and
then
creating
say
a guide or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're about at time. We're actually at time. But there was one question that was asked many ways and many different times, and I think we could maybe finish with that. So the question that I've been asked a lot is, do I have to face type every night to see results? What's your take on that?
Well, first of all, a few times a week. Not every day. No matter what, we still want to give, even if it's like the best thing in the world, right? You still want to give tissues rest, right? You don't want to go to the gym to work out every single day. We want some rest. I always recommend you can do, let's say, like 2-3 nights on, 1-2 off, or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I heard
exactly.
you saying.
You create your own schedule, and typically, the longer you do it, right, the longer the results will be lasting. So the less nights or days you would need to use the tape. And then it's also like for me personally, and I know for many people, it depends on the season. For example, during the winter, I, let's say, don't tape much of my frown lines because I'm not on the sun. I'm not like frowning, squinting, trying to hide from the sun, right? But when it's summertime, I'm outside a lot, I'm on the sun a lot, I'm squinting a lot. And that, of course, facilitates the wrinkles start, showing up, creeping up. So I tape more. So you kind of adjust to your needs, your specifications.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You gotta do it intuitively and like just, work with your on biology and physiology and everything. I love it. I am so grateful that you made time and you came to record today. It was so much fun. You're really like the wealth of information and
oh, thank you so much. But you guys, we're like this newfound family together now. We are bound together because what do we want? We want really for people to use the great products, right? We really like coming from a helping place. Right? We are proud of what our products, the quality of the products, right? We want everyone to use the best products, of course. We want people to understand and gain knowledge why they're using it, what does it do, and so on. Yeah. We're not just like...
And I'll finish by saying, imitation is the best form of flattery. It's going to happen. There is no chance for something that works to stay only kind of pure and Puritan, right? And everyone will just do the right thing. And
do you know, by the way, there is the body exercises, like a body wellness modality that's called gyrotonics.
Yeah.
You've heard of it, right?
It's
not Pilates, but it's a little bit similar. So they are the ones that are not allowing for their method to be butchered, basically. They are the ones who are keeping it hush-hush and only for people who really want to do specifically that. Because Pilates too, it started as a great thing, but now it's taught all over the place, not exactly correctly, not this, not that. But the gyrotonics people, they are still trying to keep it under the lid and only specifically with the highly trained people who they train themselves, who can teach it, and so on.
Respectfully, I think it's not like, so here's the thing. If you want to help the most amount of people, there will be basically it's going to disperse. There's going to be dispersion. Some of the people you're going to help. Some of those people are going to gain some experience and think they know everything, and they're going to try and help more people, and they're going to get it wrong, right? It's like the phone game where you pass a word, and then by the time it's the 10th person, it's a completely different word.
Yeah.
Of course, we know it from young Goose. You mentioned spermidine, but it happened to us first with NAD. The famous story that the first product was ever bought, the first order was another company wanting to back engineer, and did, by the way, back engineer our first product, Care. And obviously it happened so many times after that, which we're not going to get into now. But I think you can only help, you can only stay like the true source, which you are. You can only say, hey, I can't control what you've seen with Mary Jo in good old the University of TikTok, the University of Instagram.
He's just making up the name.
It's not real.
Okay.
It's
I
not
was
real.
about to say, who is that?
Hi, again, no one. No, but you can't control what you've seen somewhere else, but you can have integrity and say, hey, and what you do, I'm saying, this is where you'll find a good technique. I'll make sure I get the best product for you to use, etc., etc., etc. And that's obviously what we can see and appreciate. And that's why I feel that we are feel very very fortunate that we work together, because we can see, we remember keto being hash and Puritan, and now it's every product in Costco
Oh,
says
yeah.
keto friendly.
Yeah.
Keto friendly sugar. I don't know, you see it, and you
Yeah.
will see it, in my opinion, probably in a few years, you'll see it with biohacking. Now Saturday
yes.
Night Live had they mock. I mean, they didn't mock, but they had Dave Asprey imitation.
Which is again
Oh.
the highest form of flattery. I'm actually
100%.
very happy for
That's
Dave.
actually amazing
that
for
he got
Saturday Night
imitated
Live.
on,
That's
on
amazing.
Yeah, and
SNL,
some of it was
yeah.
actually funny. I snap awake at 4:30 a.m. No alarm clock.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I think in a few years Costco's going to have something like biohacking cereal, and it's going to be just like just cereal
Yeah.
Cereal with the goji berries.
with
or something.
goji. Yeah. So I think it's happening. It's growing. We can only stay true to source and make sure that we're doing things the right way, and we're going to be the avenue some people will choose, and they're going to be the lucky ones because they chose the
Now,
correct
that's what I was
avenue.
about to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
The right people will find the right sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And then there are going to be some other ones that are going to be chewing on. We're going to throw McDonald's under the bus again. They're going to say, this didn't work. I tried the Mary Jo on Instagram. And it didn't work. Always going to be people like that,
Yeah.
But once again, I am very thankful for the information you put out, for education. Anyone that's investing in your tapes, which are very affordable, it's like $30 for a roll that lasts a really long time. Get free tutorials. It's amazing. You
Yeah.
could have charged for those tutorials, but they get to know how to apply it. They don't have to figure it out. They don't, they get it's the best support you can really provide. And then on top of that, you always continue educating. And really, we're going to put everything in show notes. But I highly recommend to follow Olga, not just for face taping. She also shows like facial massages, and she shares other techniques like, oral health is a big part of what you talk about, which we didn't touch on today, and it's not the topic of this conversation. But you just share so much. And you
Thank you
look
guys.
amazing, and
Thank you guys for
you really
having
know
me.
what you're doing.
Thank you for having me. And like I said, we're in this together.
Yeah.
And I absolutely wish your line, and I know your line will be discovered by many, many people.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Olga.
Thank you.
Natural Face Bible on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anastasia Chodjaiva, Amitai Eshel. And thank you all for
Thank you for
listening
tuning in.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.